Coach Whitaker rolling in. Good to see you, sir. Doing well, doing well. Always good to have you in here. You were with us back a couple of years ago. We started doing these shows, and I think we got to have you in here every year.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah, how's the team doing?
Inconsistent right now.
Did you drop that game on Tuesday?
We dropped that game on
Central
Tuesday.
Davidson? Was it Central Davidson?
No, that was, who did we play? Eastern Randolph.
Eastern Randolph Tuesday, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it was actually, that game was actually a tribute to a former player of mine.
Okay.
Which is Logan Castleberry. I think you may remember her. She played on my AAU team.
Okay, gotcha. That's your grandchild there?
That's my daughter.
I knew. I always ask you that question. That's a little daughter. I know Nini's got some children too, though, right?
Nini has one. She's married. Has a son by the name of Jace. That's my inside linebacker.
Wow, he's going to be a big one, huh?
He's going to be a big one.
Wow, you got a lot going on. Busy time always.
Always, not a shadow of a doubt.
A lot of hectic times. How about that game, though? You talked about the young lady you played that in tribute to?
Yeah, that was a tribute to, that particular game was a tribute to Logan Castleberry, who was one of my former players with the Phoenix team that I coached. I actually coached her about 3 or 4 years, and she has cancer. And actually not doing very well now. So the community in Ramshore, I believe is the name of the little town, they do a lot of fundraisers.
Around Eastern Randolph, yeah. That's Hooker's old town, too. Yeah.
Who's old town?
Alan Hooker, his son hitting in here tonight, yeah.
Yeah, so they do a lot of things for it. Kids not doing too well now, and, we're praying for it and just hope the best.
And how tough was that loss?
That loss was very tough.
They whipped you pretty bad then.
I don't know what happened. This team this year is very inconsistent.
Kind of up and down.
Yeah. Sometimes we can go out there and play like a team that I know that we can be, and then sometimes it just make you shake your head.
But your record almost maybe reflects that too. You're 8-8 now, right?
We're 8-8 now.
Yeah.
We're 8-8, 3-2 in the conference.
Still battling in the conference.
Still battling, and the thing is, whenever this team listens to the coaching staff, we win. Matter of fact, I preached that tonight. But whenever they don't listen and have their own agenda, nothing good never happens.
Got to be a young team. This must be a young team.
It's a young team.
That's the way it is with those kids, yeah.
Yeah, one senior, which doesn't play very much. The rest of them are juniors, sophomores, and freshmen.
Well, you've done a very good job with this team, considering you've had some players that moved out, decided to go other places. You're always kind of in transition, but you've kind of kept this team together. 8-8, 3-2 in the conference. You're playing well under those conditions.
Yeah, and it is one of those things with us. We have to do a lot of teaching. We don't really have the players that come in that's already seasoned. One of these years, we're going to have kids working all year round, and then me and my coaching staff going to be able to coach. And once we're able to do that, it can be some good things.
You're still teaching now and not able to coach as much as you want to.
Not able to coach as like I want to.
Who's the little lady who came in with us last year, the 1,000-point scorer that joined us here last year?
Haley Chandler.
Haley Chandler. What's she doing these days?
I actually haven't talked to Haley.
Yeah. She went on to college. I know she did.
She went on to college and not playing basketball.
Right.
Which she actually should be, because she's a pretty good player. Just had to.
And you had the other little young lady who was a great outside shooter, wore that headband sometimes, and the game went down east, I think, to play college ball. What was her name a couple of years back?
Camille Horn. She's still playing. She's at UNC Pembroke. She's actually.
I knew she went down east, yeah.
Actually doing very well.
So she's still putting the ball in the hole then?
She's still putting the ball in the hole.
Camille Horn is still going at it.
And that was the only kid that I knew of, male or female, that can shoot consistently from almost the half-court line.
She can pop it, yeah, no doubt about it. She was open as soon as she crossed half-court, like you say. She was open and ready to shoot. Take us back on your road, going back all the days back when you first started playing basketball. When did you start? I mean, did they have AAU ball back in your day?
No, I think they had it, but it wasn't as popular as it is now. And matter of fact, we never really heard of it. It was more All-Star, All-Star leagues. And
did you start the recreation programs?
Started the recreation program. I first started with the Boys and Girls Club, which is on Neal Street.
Gotcha.
And from that point, Keeler Recreational Center. Andy, you taking me way back. I think that might have only been about 30 years ago, but
that's good. You're still going.
And once we done the recreational Aycock Junior High School, which is now Aycock Middle School.
Right.
And from that point, my 10th and 11th grade year with Page High School, as a matter of fact, one of my teammates is at Wake Forest now. And
Mr. Manning?
Mr. Manning. And,
Mr. Danny Manning. Wow. That's kind of neat to say you were a teammate with him back in the day.
I've only missed 2 home games. So I'm at every home game.
Yeah.
You know, I have to support him, and he's doing a very good job. If you see that team from now to today,
Yeah.
totally different team.
And he's made some changes too.
He has.
He's whipped some guys out of there and put some guys away, and decided he wants to get the guys who want to play, and doing the guys who will listen. He's playing those guys.
Oh yeah, you know, it's a process.
So you're getting those Wake Forest games then.
Oh yes, sir.
Wow. Former
And-
teammate of Danny Manning. That says a lot right there.
Yeah, and I tell you, he's doing a good job. I mean, from day one up until then, he's doing one heck of a job.
And you're a coach, so you see things differently. A lot of the average fan does. You see the things he's doing coaching-wise. What are some of the things he's doing coaching-wise that's bringing this Wake Forest team along?
Well, I think the most important thing that I would say that he's brought to the program at Wake Forest, he's got those kids believing in him as number one. And they're also beginning to believe in hard work. Because, you know, they're not the most talented team, but they are beginning to work hard, and he's put them together because if you watch them play Louisville and Duke, they only lost those games in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they had Louisville all shook up. They sure did.
That's right. They also had Duke shook up. Matter of fact, you know, I'm taking pictures of the score and I'm putting them on Facebook because, you know, I want you to see this game is very close. I think that, you know, both teams may have ended up winning by, you know, 10, 12, 15 points, but the last 4 minutes, Wake was ahead.
Heck of a game.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And he's getting those, once they learn how to win, it's going to come in bunches. I tell you, look out for Wake Forest in the ACC tournament.
And what do you remember about Danny Manning back when he was a player? What was he like? What were some memories you have about being on the team back in the day?
Well, you know, Coach Morris was our coach. And, you know, of course, he pushed everybody.
He was demanding.
Yeah, he's very demanding. And that's one of the reasons I have the utmost respect for him at this time. You know, it's like I tell my players now, sometimes you may not see what the coach is trying to instill in you, but, you know, 4 or 5 years down the road, you're going to come back and you're going to say, hey, coach, hey, I see it now. So
You hope he sees it in 2 or 3 years, not 4 or 5 years. You want to see it now, right? Yeah.
I like to see it now, but, you know, players have changed. Generations have changed.
That's true.
Kids don't work as hard as they used to work. And like I tell my players now, you know, you guys only play basketball seasonal. Back when we were coming up, the Mannings, the Jeffries, the Newmans, the Greens, the Pools, the Schiffmans, you know, we went other places and played basketball. We were at the YMCA, we were at the Boys Club, we were at the Peeler Recreation Center, Windsor, Warnersville. You know, we played, which we call street basketball.
All the time.
Nobody plays street basketball anymore.
Now, I had that kid earlier tonight, the Brewer kid was from Colwood Academy. He said he actually had a goal in his driveway outdoors and said he played a lot of outdoor balls. I was almost shocked.
Wow. And even you still play basketball.
I'm out there every
outdoors.
Sunday, yeah. 35 years, still going, man.
Yeah, but see that
I like getting the outdoors is just different. I don't know what it is.
the kids I don't know what took away from that. I hate to, you know, sit up here and say the video games and, you know, the new
I guess
technology,
they came up with more and better indoor facilities. I mean, if a kid's playing at the Spears YMCA, got a good facility there. If he's playing at the downtown the Brian Y these days, I guess if you got better facilities, why would you want to go outdoors? I guess.
But there's nothing like
Oh man, it's the life. It's the life out there.
And what now?
I mean, I go to courts sometimes. I can tell you every crack in that court where you shoot free throws from a certain crack in the concrete. I mean, every spot. Yeah.
Right.
I can tell you when it rains. I know where the spots are going to be.
Yeah, but the city also taking well out of the outdoor courts now.
They took it a lot. They changed it quite a bit.
They changed it quite a bit. So one of the things, I never did answer your question, but one of the things that I can remember about Danny back in high school was, which you don't see a lot of today, Danny really listened and paid attention to Coach Morris. And not only he, but all of us, but he worked extremely hard to get where he is today. I mean, it just wasn't given to him, and of course, you know, Coach Morris wasn't going to hand us out anything.
No.
So
if you were good, he was going to make it tough for you just because you're good, because he wanted you to be better.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he wasn't only teaching fundamentals, but he was teaching us how to understand the game of basketball. You know, not just getting out there running circles, just running up and down the basketball court.
Yeah, that game of basketball, that sport doesn't end when they hand you that diploma. That's not the end. I mean, there's a lot more going on after that too.
That is correct.
And the thing about Danny Manning too is going to be, like we talked with Hooker earlier. Hendon Hooker and Breon Seagraves both come from families whose parents are talented athletes, and sometimes those athletes, maybe because their parents were stars back in their day. The kids may not listen, but you got like Danny Manning, his dad, Ed Manning. People may not, Ed was an ABA superstar, but for Danny to be a listener like that says a lot, because he could have said, "Well, I know what all my dad teaches," but he paid attention to Coach Morris and learned by doing that.
Yeah, and you know Ed, rest in peace. Ed Manning, he was a workhorse with the Carolina Cougars.
Yeah, he got a spot. He maintained a spot.
Teammates with Larry Brown, they were good
Sure
friends.
was, yes sir, yes sir.
Not very many people remember that.
I remember Ed Manning. I remember Hawkeye. They had the guy Whitney on there, Hawkeye Whitney. They had, gosh, just tons of players. I remember Bob Burger, Gene Littles. Carolina Cougars was my team back in the day. Yeah.
Now remember, I'm trying not to remember too much. I'm only 30 years old.
You want to try to be a little younger than me anyway. Yeah, I know what you mean. But 1983, I guess, was the championship team, right, with Danny?
1983. I played in '82. 1983 was the championship team. In '82, I think we only lost 2 games, and we lost in the regional championship to Ranzino Smith. You remember
Ranzino
Smith?
Played at Chapel Hill. Yeah,
that's right. That was his senior year. And buddy, let me tell you, it didn't matter who stuck him. He lit us up.
He was a guard. Yeah, no doubt about it. He could burn it. And I guess you guys had Michael Foster then.
We had Mike Foster, which Mike Foster, he ended up going to Carolina. South
He did go to Carolina, but South Carolina. Yeah,
right. South Carolina, got his degree, and he migrated to play basketball overseas.
Okay.
And he is still overseas.
Is he really? Wow.
He comes back every June. I think what Mike does now is he raises horses.
Really?
Show horses.
Wow. Huh. Interesting.
Good living.
That's not
Which
bad
is
at
kind
all.
of shocking.
Yeah.
And every time he comes here, there's a farm that he goes to here in North Carolina. I don't recall the farm now, but he also goes out there. And of course, you know what Lane Schiffman does. Walker Pools in Charlotte. David Brockman's around here. William Green. Daryl Miller. I can still name the whole team.
Haywood Jeffries on there too?
Haywood's still in Texas.
Yeah.
He's doing very well in Texas.
Was John Newman on there with you guys?
John Newman is doing very well in real estate.
Yeah.
I tell you, I talk about that team to the players today that I coach. I can always remember a story with John Newman and Danny Manning. They were the post players. Sometimes the guards, we can get overexcited, taking all kinds of crazy shots. And, we were all a close-knit family and everything. But if the post players playing hard defense, run up and down the floor, you're not getting the ball, you're going to have a problem.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a fit, definitely.
And there was no animosity taken, but I remember Big John at one time say, "Hey, Binky," they called me Binky. If you don't pass me that ball next time, we're going to have a very serious situation. That's the way boys played back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And we were still the best of friends. There was nothing wrong with
Exactly. You respected each other.
because he's running up and down that court. We running down just taking crazy shots.
Right,
Blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
You were playing back then like some of the kids are playing now.
That's exactly right.
Unfortunately, yeah. Because now basically what it is up and down that court, and if the guy gets it, sometimes nobody else is going to see it. It's just a straight shot to the basket these days.
and I utilize that team from '82, and I talk about them to my girls a lot because sometimes you just got to take that leadership role. Someone has to step up and be that leader. It's not going to be the most popular thing at times, but someone has to be a leader on the team.
How tough was it for you to go from being a player who just loved playing the game to being a coach who's got to imply and get that point across to the players? How tough was that transition going from a kid just loved to play it, just run down the court and take that wild shot, to being somebody who's got to be under control and coach these kids and teach them?
This year's been tough. This has actually been one of my toughest years. I've always been used to kids working hard and kids listening and paying attention. Even the team that I had when I first started coaching in Southern, we only won 6 games. But those 6 games were all conference games, which put us in the state playoff. But we were always in games. We probably only got blown out about 2 or 3 times. And they were not that athletic, they were not that skilled, but they came together as a team and worked hard. That was probably one of the best teams I've had.
How much is it different now, the new conference room compared to the old conference? This conference tougher, easier, or can you tell any difference, or is it about the same?
It's about the same. The Southwest Randolph has definitely stood up in the last 2 or 3 years. Normally, Ledford or who was that? Ledford normally dominates it.
Yeah, Johnny Rawls back in his day.
Yeah, and I think he's been ill, and I
He's
hope
gone now. Yeah.
Hope everything's okay.
Yeah,
When you say he's gone, you mean he's not coaching anymore?
He's not coaching, right?
He's not coaching
right.
anymore. Yeah, and had a lot of respect for him, and I'm trying to Asheboro.
Yeah.
Asheboro was one of the teams.
And Eastern Randolph, like you say, too, is picking up, but that's not in your conference.
No, Eastern
They're not in
Randolph.
Conference, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Eastern Randolph, they're not in our conference.
That's
no.
a 2A team, right?
That's correct.
I remember back in the day, those Smith girls down there, they were dangerous. I mean, Eastern Randolph's had some good teams over the years.
And you know, you've got Terry. They used to call
Terry Allman.
Yeah, he's doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, he used to coach at East Davis, and then he went to Central, then he got to Asheboro.
That's right.
He'll do a good job no matter where he goes.
Oh, he does a heck of a job. I don't remember how many state championships he has at Eastern Randolph.
East Davidson, man, he was loaded.
Was it East Davidson?
Yeah, he was loaded up down there.
Oh, yeah.
Loaded up. Had some excellent girls at that school. What about your daughter? I mean, her career at Page, was it a good career, you feel like?
Yeah, I feel like it was a great career.
You were a parent watching her back then, not able to coach at that time, just watching as a parent. Did she have the kind of career that you wanted for her over there at Page?
I think she did have the type of career that fitted her at that time. I think that team probably could have done some different things, but you know, they had Jasmine Gill, B. John. Those kids were very good. Mercedes Humphreys. I have to think a little bit, but you know, that her freshman year is the time that I thought they should have won that championship.
So it's kind of interesting back in the day because we used to write about it on the website, being that little guard. You had her there back in the day, had the Jenkins kid out of Eastern Guilford coming along, and gosh, had Paris Key coming up through the ranks, all those kids coming along. A lot of good girls basketball around here.
Girls basketball.
A lot of good basketball.
I'll talk about that also. You know, my daughter wasn't very tall, buddy, but I put her with the best of them.
And she could play. Blow to the ground, man. She had the handles. She was tough.
And believe it
very
or not,
determined.
Sometimes she come out and practice with us to this day.
That's what you told me a while back. Yeah. What about that Northwest Guilford girls team? Had a chance to watch them any at all?
I haven't watched Northwest, but I knew they were going to come along because when those girls were freshmen, teams were beating them. But you can see that chemistry was getting ready to form.
Yep, they're ranked 20th in the nation at USA Today poll. Yeah,
and Darlene does a pretty good job with those kids.
And another good job done too by Kristen Shelton. Used to coach those girls AAU level. If you heard of Coach Shelton or not, she coaches over at St. Pius. She's got like a record. I think it's like 79-0 over the past several years. Wide open, good coach, good coach. The rest of the season is a title within your reach.
And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. These girls I'm coaching this year is like night and day. I won't know what's going to happen.
So you're coaching now. Let's make the playoffs. We'll take care of the rest later, right? Coaching, try to get in the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm always coaching to make the playoffs, so I still feel like we'll make the playoffs. But Nokomis Williams, who's here with me, she's going to be a big key to what happens, and Kayla Miller. And we have two freshmen in Sierra Brown and Brianna Ware. Very important that they play well.
Those two freshmen down the stretch. Got to get those freshmen playing well, then.
Got to get those freshmen playing well.
Are you able to keep this program growing? This program is still on upswing, you think?
I still think it's on the upswing.
What's it going to take to kind of keep it going?
What we need to do is practice year-round. And what I mean by that, the times that are allotted to us by Guilford County, we need to take advantage of that. Instead of just being seasonal, coming out doing basketball season, we need to do our individual workouts and team workouts. That way we're going to prosper. It won't take us till January before we start the peak.
What about the input from your AD, Mr. Crawford? That's still good? I know he was out for a while, I think December 4th until Monday. He was out with a bad back.
Yeah, he was out
now
with
he's
a bad
back,
back.
But he's giving you some good input, I would think.
He has, and he also supports the team pretty good.
How about the new coach down there for the boys, Evan Fancourt? How's Evan doing?
I tell you, Evan is doing one heck of a job. He's got some good assistants with him, and his work ethic. You know, the guy almost worked harder than myself.
Proud of him.
But I tell you, he's matter of fact, he and I, in the beginning, we was always talking about after every other game, and you know, I kind of not say as much as I used to say, because this guy, man, I just can't speak enough about him. He's working hard with those guys. During the off season, he was in the gym. It's just that they're young. A lot of the kids are young that's playing with them, but it's just kind of like the Wake Forest team. Once they start winning, it's going to come in bunches. And they've been in a lot of games, but just down the stretch.
Yeah.
That fourth quarter just kind of killed them. But, Fancourt, man, he's a heck of a coach, and he's going to do very, very well at Southern Guilford.
How about yourself? If you had to go back and do it all over again, do a retake, do a redo, do a replay, what would you change? Would you change anything at all for Coach William Whitaker, his basketball coaching and playing career?
I would not change a thing. I continue to do the things that I'm doing. Wouldn't change anything.
Everything stays the same.
Everything stays the same.
How do you know when there's a proper amount of air in the ball for basketball?
Well, the way I do it, you don't mind if I stand up?
Yeah, stand up and show us, Coach.
I just take a ball, and I'll drop it.
Right.
If it comes way up here,
right,
too much air.
Uh-huh.
Here, perfect.
Always about the hips.
Yeah.
I've heard that for years. The officials would take the ball, hold it above their head before the game, drop it. It's supposed to come by their hips. I didn't know if there was anything to that or not, or just something they did just for show. But that's the deal.
Yeah, and I tell you, we got a tough game tomorrow at home against Southwest Randolph, who hasn't lost the game. As a matter of fact, I might, see if I can deflate some of those basketballs.
That's a good idea.
I think that might
have two basketballs and then deflate the one you give to them. Then during the timeout, change and put yours in.
That's exactly right.
And they haven't lost a game yet, then.
They haven't lost a game.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, I told my kids tonight before I came here, I can coach you how to beat this thing. I really can coach you, but you have to listen. And that's what a lot of our problem is. We don't listen. And we go back to doing some of the same things we can do, but I can coach you how to beat that team.
Right. I told some people today, I said, it's not necessarily what you have, it's what you do with what you have.
That's right.
I also told people, too, ask you this question, is it more satisfying or is it more fun when you get these wins? Is it a fun thing or a satisfying thing?
With me, this year, I can't even say if it's fun or satisfying, because even when we win, I tell you what, I was more happier on a couple of games when we lost.
If I ask you this question Monday, it might be a different answer. After Tuesday, could have changed things a little bit after that last game.
If we work hard, I'm happy. Win, lose, or draw. And I can remember, I think it was either in the Jamboree or it was in the Sheets tournament that we played in Christmas. We lost the game, but I was okay with that because the kids played hard, and that's really all I care about.
It's been a struggle, but you're still kicking.
We're still kicking.
Let's get the comments in here, Coach.
Okay, I appreciate it, Andy, as always.
You got it. Nene and the family and your daughter. What's that little daughter's name again? You brought some? Addison.
Yes.
Addison Whitaker.
Addison, and she's not playing basketball.
No basketball. She's going to be a model probably, right? Yeah.
Working on swimming.
Swimming, that's not bad. How about horseback riding? No horseback riding? Remember, that was Virginia Intermont, that was their top